Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. This is another video for League of Legends, this one featuring Anivia. What we have here today is a user-submitted game. This is from the Anivia player in this game, Tashur Astur, and this is from a ranked game on the European West servers at about 1750 ELO, so we should see some pretty solid play from the players in this game. Let's go through it and look at who's in this game. We have Jax, Karthus, Ezreal, Soraka, and Rengar, so that's nice. We might get to see a little Rengar footage as well, since he's the newest champ as I record this. And on the other side, we have Malphite, Anivia, Lee Sin, Tristana, and Sona. So again, like I said, this is a user-submitted video from Tashur Astur. It was pointed out that I didn't have Anivia, one of the champions that I don't have a game highlighting, so I'm going to go through and use this game as an example of some Anivia footage. So we should have plenty of time to talk about her gameplay, talk about how to play Anivia, strengths, weaknesses, that sort of thing. While we're getting set up here, while we're getting started, I will mention one thing that is coming up this week. Most of you probably know, if any of you who follow the League of Legends competitive scene, this weekend they are holding the North American Regional Finals for League of Legends. So the top North American teams are going to be playing at at PAX Prime in Seattle. So just one little note on that subject, if anyone is going to PAX Prime, they are going to be giving out those Riot, the PAX Sona codes giveaway. Sona and Janna are my two most played champions, I play the most. By the way, Karthus looks like he's going to get caught there, but a nice flash will get him out of trouble. If anyone is going to be going to PAX Prime and you would happen to pick up an extra PAX Sona code, please let me know. I'll be happy to feature you on the channel, be happy to do something in terms of our Tuesday YouTube night games if you're able to pick one up for me. Anyway, right here Anivia goes down to 7 HP, but it's not quite as dangerous as it looks because Anivia does have her egg passive, which I'll talk more about in a second. So nobody actually going to die. I did skim through this replay earlier, did notice that nobody died in this level 1 fight. Blue team actually comes out ahead in this level 1 fight because Jax was not there, and Jax is going to be able to farm up in top lane, and the jungle Rengar looks like he's going to be able to get started sooner. So anyway, like I said, it ended up no action going on in that level 1 fight, but I think blue team came out a little bit ahead because they're able to get back to lane faster. And note that Karthus is already here in mid, whereas Tashur Astur had to go back to base and had to buy. Did pick up a 4th health potion though. Okay, so getting into this game, the matchups we have Malphite against Jax in top lane, a very common matchup both sides. Anivia against Karthus in mid. Again, champions that you'd see used in competitive play. We have Lee Sin, we have Trist and Sona in bottom lane up against Ezreal and Soraka. We actually have First Blood being picked up there. Lee Sin lurking in the brush. Oh, Trist actually picking up a red buff there, so gonna get that slow proc. And that's going to turn into a second kill. Is this Ignite going to get Lee Sin? No, 6 HP. Going to make it out of there. So, 2 kills in bottom lane. And this red team is already off to a nice start. Okay, though, as I said, the focus for this game is going to be on Anivia. So I want to talk about Anivia's gameplay. Anivia's is a caster in mid, another AP champion. Most of you probably know that already, but I will state it at the start. So she is a caster. You build ability power stuff on her. She's a big, she's a cryo phoenix, usually referred to as chicken or bird or something like that. But anyway, is one of the more unusual champions in this game, at least in terms of how the character model works. Anivia has the best passive in the entire game. Anivia basically has a free Guardian Angel at all points in time. Rebirth, upon taking fatal damage, Anivia reverts to an egg, healing to full health, and receiving... Well, actually, she gets lowered armor and MR. And if she survived for 6 seconds, she's reborn on a 4-minute cooldown. So this is the best passive in the game. It has been for a very long time. But if Anivia dies, she comes back to life after 6 seconds if she's not killed during that span. It is on a cooldown, but it's only 4 minutes, which isn't really that long. So again, basically, she starts the game with a free Guardian Angel. More or less. Not exactly, but more or less. So that is a really big deal. And I've always thought that was, like I said, the best passive in the game. Not much else really comes close to that. You basically get a free second life. Anyway, right there, another kill in top lane. You saw that happen. Malphite got low. Jax flashed in for the kill and then died to tower. So a nice play by Jax there to survive that gank. Alright, in terms of Anivia's skills, well, what Anivia excels at is she's very good at both pushing and stalling out pushes. Anivia can stall out a push like nobody's business with the use of her ultimate, her Glacial Storm, which we'll talk more about later. She also has great utility. She has a wall, an impassable wall, which is a bit of a difficult skill to use, but can set up some plays. She also has a skill shot stun on her Q, so she has a lot of sort of utility to the team, and she, like I said, she can become useful in all sorts of different ways. She can stall out. She's very good at stalling out enemy team pushes. Now, weaknesses of Anivia: she has a rather high skill cap. She's one of the more difficult mid lane champions to play. She is not played very much for this very reason. She also is extremely blue buff dependent. Anivia without blue is one sad bird. Anivia with blue is much, much stronger. And then finally, Anivia doesn't deal as much raw damage as a lot of other casters, so she is a little bit more utility focused, but she can of course put out quite a bit of damage too in the right circumstances. Like I said, it's more, you do have to, it is a little bit more focused on landing some of her skill shots though. Let's go through and look at her skills. I'll highlight her Q first. This is her Flash Frost. It's a skill shot. A chunk of ice flies towards target, deals magic damage, and chills targets, slows movement speed. So this is a stun. You can detonate the spell early, anytime while it's flying along its path, at the end of its range, or if you activate the spell again, the missile detonates, deals magic damage in a small area, and stuns units for 1 second. So again, this is her skill shot stun. It travels in a straight line. You can detonate it anywhere along that straight line. If it hits someone, if you detonate it on top of someone, they take extra damage and are stunned briefly. So you can actually hit units twice with this skill. You can hit them initially, right there, you can hit them initially on the pass out, and then you can hit them again when you detonate the skill. So it's a little bit of a complicated skill to use, but it's quite a good skill. Like I said, you can get a stun on this, although it is a skill shot. Right there, double kill for Jackson top lane, and that is not trouble. That is going to be trouble later on. You don't want Jax getting those kills, so it's going to pull this game back to even, 8.2 to 8.2. So a very even game here. All right, so that's the Flash Frost. Now this works in combination with Anivia's E, which is her big damage skill, Frostbite. Anivia blasts her target with a freezing wind, deals magic damage. If they're already chilled, they take double damage. So this is where a little bit of that skill factor comes in. You can chill enemies in 2 ways. You can hit them with your Q, which is again a skill shot, or you can hit them with your ultimate. There's the Glacial Storm ultimate. Calls forth a driving rain of ice and hail, deals magic damage per second, chills targets, slows attack and movement speed. It is costs mana per second to use, drains 40 mana per second. So this is a great skill for farming. Again, it's a very mana intensive skill. You just toss down the Glacial Storm on the ground, throw a Flash Frost right through the middle of it. You know, you see how the creeps walk in a line? You just toss your Flash Frost onto the line of creeps, detonate it on the range creeps, toss down your storm, you farm the wave really fast. Again, the downside is you also empty your mana pool in a real hurry. So again, Anivia is great at stalling out enemy pushes under towers. You can nuke down the enemy minion wave so quickly. You also are able to combo her ultimate along with her E skill. So again, the idea here is you toss the Frostbite at the enemy. They get, well, you put on your ultimate, they get chilled, then you toss the Frostbite, and they take double damage. The damage on this skill is pretty pathetic without, if you're not able to get them chilled. It's pretty weak without that. I mean, note, there's 4 points in the skill, and it only deals 145, so you really need that double damage for the skill to be particularly effective, for it to be particularly useful. Now, there are some more creative ways that you can use this skill. What you can do is you can toss your E, your Frostbite, and then while it's in midair, turn on Glacial Storm, and that will still deal the double damage. In fact, that's the way most Anivia players use this skill. Alternately, although it's more difficult to do, you can toss out your Flash Frost, and if you hit them and get the stun, then you can go into, like right there, there is the Glacial Storm plus the Frostbite right there. So hits and deals double damage, and is able to trade with Karthus more or less evenly right there. We do have a fight going on in top lane. Let's take a quick look at this one. Rengar has already gone down. Malphite is low. Is he going to fall to that Ignite? No, he does not fall to that Ignite. And Lee Sin with the clutch shield right there to keep Malphite alive and score the double kill. So another 2 kills back and forth. All the action has been in the other lanes thus far. And you know, that's actually not that surprising because Anivia Karthus is a farming lane. Neither one of these champs is really someone who's looking to get a lot of kills in lane. They're both champions that are more interested in just farming up the lane, getting a lot of minion kills, and becoming stronger for later on in the game. So again, like I said, it's not really that unexpected. We also did have a kill in bottom lane, but I didn't see how that one got set up. I see that Sona and Tristalt are both on cooldown, so pretty sure that's what's going to happen. Again, I could rewind, but like I said, the focus on this game is more so on Anivia. And believe me, we will have some more action in this lane later on. Alright, so final skill for Anivia, her W. You note that Tashur Astur didn't put a point in this skill until level 8. I would probably put one in at level 4, but it definitely is her 1-point skill. This is her wall, Crystallize, summons an impassable wall of ice. It's quite small with only 1 point in the skill, but later on it does become significantly larger. Lasts for 5 seconds. It's not passable. The only way to get through the wall is to flash over it or use some kind of other skill like a Tristana Rocket Jump or a Jack Sleep Strike, something like that, but you cannot walk through the wall. And it's very strong in narrow jungle passageways, you know, it's like right here. The wall is also interesting because it causes all kinds of weird pathfinding issues. What you'll see in the game is, you know, if you are planning to walk, like let's say you're trying to walk through here and it gets walled off, your character, as soon as the wall goes down, will immediately do weird pathfinding stuff, like they'll start walking in the opposite direction. So this can cause some very strange things when you're playing the game to happen. It's something that anyone who's played against Anivia has probably experienced, but your character will be going not where you're clicking for them to go because the wall really messes things up. Anyway, there is another fight going on in top lane. Let's check this out. Another 2v2. The junglers have been very active up here in top lane. Rengar going to leap out. Are they going to go for this tower dive? I'm thinking no, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Alright, anyway, we did see our Anivia player go ahead and grab the blue buff there. A good idea. Lee Sin definitely does not need blue buff. Anivia really does need blue buff. Like I said, she's very blue dependent. Now, without blue, Anivia runs out of mana quickly. Right there is a nice use of Flash Frost into the stun, followed by Glacial Storm and the Frostbite. Note that Frostbite is maxed first because it deals the most damage. Again, the way that people generally skill Anivia is 1 point in Q at level 1 because, again, does have the potential to stun. Then max Frostbite immediately after that. In this game, Tashur Astur actually put a 2nd point in Q at level 4. Well, there's another fight going on up there, but it looks like we missed the action. Anyway, Tashur Astur put another point in Q at level 4, so he just skipped his W entirely until he hit level 8. But again, that's more of a preference thing. Again, note how Glacial Storm just kills all the minions so easily. But Anivia needs that blue, has gone for tier first. Again, I've seen this. It's a common build to go tier first. I've also seen people build Catalyst first into Rod of Ages. Again, it's your preference. You probably only want... You maybe only want one of the two. I have seen some Anivia players actually build tier and Catalyst. Again, with the notion of just turning the tier into a later Archangel staff at some point in time, and using the Catalyst for a Rod of Ages. Again, there are a number of different ways to go there. There is the wall. The wall not quite big enough to completely block that jungle path. Not yet. But it is going to force Karthus off of these minions. Keep them away from the tower. Now, again, like a good mid player should do, Tashur Astur taking the Wraith camps. That's what you want to look to do as a good mid player. Even better if you can steal them away from the enemy team. Turn on the Glacial Storm. One Flash Frost to hit all the minions. And then, see, there we go, detonated the Flash Frost on the melee minions. So Glacial Storm, turn it on, one Flash Frost to ideally pass through all the minions and then detonate, and a Frostbite on whatever the biggest creep is, whether it's a cannon creep or whether it's the big Wraith, the blue Wraith, or whatever. But you can farm them very quickly with Anivia. Now this is interesting, a Giant's Belt. I do remember seeing this when I watched this before. So that is an unusual item. You won't see people doing that often. By the way, the random Q, that's for that tier, the Goddess, getting that mana charged up. The Giant's Belt is unusual. I mean, this is what Froggen will sometimes build on Anivia, but this is a little bit more unorthodox. This would give you more survivability in lane, keeps you alive better, can be built into Rylai's later on, but that's more of an unorthodox choice. A Catalyst or something else, or starting to build AP for the first time, would probably be a little bit more normal there. I mean, it's a defensible choice. It's just something you wouldn't see that often. So again, by the way, note how fast that minion wave goes down. And then once again, like a good... Oh, I thought Tashur Astur was going to take the Wraiths there. Instead, looks like going to bottom lane. There is a fight going on here. Rengar is coming in. There's going to be a kill on Triss right there. There's the Glacial Storm. There is the Flash Frost. Gets exhausted right there. The wall to block off the retreat. Rengar cannot get out. Rengar does not have Flash. He only has Exhaust, and he's not going to be able to make it out of there. So that's a pretty nicely played kill. Now Karthus coming over, but going to get stunned by that Flash Frost, and this is indeed a good fight to disengage from. This is not where Anivia wants to be, so just going to back out of there. You see the retreat pings coming out all over the place. Jax, though, going to get that stun on Lee Sin. He's going to dash away, but yeah, it's Karthus. Well, Jax being a little bit of a KSer right there, jumping in to take that kill away from Karthus. Sona cannot get out of here. Can't make it out. But wow, actually able to pick up a kill on Ezreal. That was not particularly well played by Ezreal. And we did we have a kill on top lane as well? No. Malphite's doing the right thing. This is the correct play from Malphite. Jax left top, so Malphite, your job, your laner leaves is you punish them by going and pushing that lane and trying to take that tower. In fact, since no, Jax is back alive again. Oh, and blue team is going to take this time to do dragon. Again, these players, like I said, this is about 1750, between 1750 and 1800. So these are pretty good players. Again, blue team had a bunch of people around dragon. They take dragon. Correct call there. Red team can't stop them. Malphite does the only thing he can, which is to push top lane, try to get this tower. Looks like he doesn't quite have the damage to get it because he's all gold pretends and defensive stuff. But he's making the right play, which is not running down the dragon, which he can't do anything to stop, but to keep pushing that lane, continue farming, and try to get that tower. So anyway, that was pretty well played by both teams there, and again reflects the fact that this game is quite close. Alright, Tashur went back to base, did pick up a blasting wand, so that could go towards any number of different items at this point in time. We'll see what that decides to go into at this point in time. Again, note how fast Anivia kills the minion wave, just kills them instantly with Glacial Storm, and is doing very well in farming the minions. 141 minion kills in 15.5 minutes. That's an excellent score. I mean, you're not going to achieve that all the time, but that's what you want to be looking to do, particularly if you're in one of these farming lanes. Anyway, Lee Sin ganking top once again. Rengar suddenly realizes that he doesn't want to be there, pops his ult for the stealth, and is going to run out, and it looks like the push is continuing to go onto that top tower. So we really haven't seen much action in this middle lane, but overall the game itself has had quite a bit going on. Again, just sort of using those first 20 minutes to get farmed up. That's a more or less what you'd want to do. Anivia is not a particularly early game focused champion. She excels much more in late game. She's very good in team fights with proper use of that wall, if you can use it. And like I said, if you can spend the first 20 minutes or so just farming with Anivia, that's generally a pretty good sign. We do have a Lee Sin gank coming here. I feel like Karthus will probably be fine, uses the Wall of Pain, has no difficulty getting out. Anivia's gameplay is kind of similar to Karthus in this respect. I mean, like I said, both of them are really champs that are looking more towards later on in the game, are happy to sit back and farm up the lane, that sort of thing. By the way, this is a good ward position that Tashur has placed right here. It sees this jungle entrance. It gives vision for bottom lane too. If you ward here, you actually help out your bottom lane quite a bit because it protects your bottom lane from being ganked down through this route, down through the Tribrush. It gives vision on that. Anyway, we do have a fight going on right here, and this is the Flash Frost right there. Karthus has the Ignite on, and unfortunately Tashur's out of mana. That's the problem right there. There is the egg form getting triggered, but unfortunately Karthus does have quite a bit of damage. Is Tashur going to be able to get up and use his Flash Frost? No, not able to. Could not get off that Glacial Storm plus Frostbite combination. I don't think it would have done quite enough damage to kill Karthus anyway. Maybe he did just get a Catalyst pop, so he did just get a little bit of life back. But no, not quite able to get that one. Again, the problem in that fight was Tashur Astur ran out of mana, and when you're on low mana, it's very easy to do that with Anivia, and when you run out of mana, you can't do anything, obviously. So yeah, she's very susceptible to running out of mana, and that was the biggest issue in that particular fight. Let's take a look at the gold totals right now, see who has the most gold. Right now, Anivia and Tristana have the most, although Lee Sin and Malphite aren't far behind. And again, on the other team too, the solo lanes are pretty much in the same position. Let's see, Rengar's a little bit behind, and Ezreal's a little bit behind. So this fight continuing right here. Jungler came down, but the fight has been renewed, and that's a nice kick from Lee Sin, going to knock Rengar back. He does have the stealth on him now. They don't know where he goes. He was able to use that stealth to escape right there. So it's going to be one kill. And now here comes the Karthus ult, and wow, double kill right there. Picks up Malphite in top lane, and then also picks up Lee Sin in bottom lane. But right here, the flash in, and that's a nice play. And then the Flash Frost to be able to get out. Just look at that again, because I didn't get the camera work all that well. So here's Karthus channeling his ult. Anivia coming down here. Rengar walks past a ward at Dragon, so Tashur is going to see that. Right there, flashes. Note the ultimate used, and then the immediate E. The E comes out first, and then the ult is turned on while it's still in the air. Then the Q in order to stun Karthus and in order to disengage. That's a very nice kill there. Very well played. So cleans up that fight and picks up a second kill in that particular little exchange right there. Okay, so first item complete. Archangel Staff. Honestly, I think that this is a little bit of an unusual choice. You don't particularly need to rush the Archangels. You can just get the tier and then finish it later. Again, it's not a bad item per se. It's just that usually you don't necessarily have to rush the Archangel. It's not really giving that much ability power right now. It's more of sort of an item that you usually build as like your second, usually more of like a third or fourth item. Not that, like I said, so it's not a bad item. It's just it's probably not something I'd look to buy this early in the game. Still, at the same time, not an Anivia player, so Tashur may know better than I in this particular situation. Just it's unusual to see someone rush Archangel Staff as their first item. It might have been more useful to build another item first, either you know, get the tier and then go for Rod of Ages, or go for the Death Cap if you just want more ability power. Or even turn this into a Rylai's, although Rylai's is not a particularly great item on Anivia, because she already has an innate slow on her ability. She doesn't really need another slow. But like I said, it's just a bit of an unusual choice there. It's not something you see that often. Oh, here we go. So here is a Chalice. Yeah, I would expect that you would build the Chalice before you'd complete the Archangel Staff. Chalice is a very good item on Anivia. Gives her back mana regen, gives her magic resist, so it helps her in laning. So it's quite a good item to build on her. And it can, of course, be turned into the Unholy Grail later on. So I just would have expected, if you were going to get a Chalice, that, you know, you'd build the tier and then get the Chalice, and not actually finish the Archangel Staff. But still, it's like I said, it's not a bad item choice. It's just a little bit unorthodox, that's all. Anyway, in terms of skilling Anivia, again, you want to max your E first, your Q second, and now go back and max out the wall on her W last. And of course, Glacial Storm, your ult, you want to put points in whenever it's available. Now, one thing about the Glacial Storm, once you put it down, you can't move it, and it does take, what, about 6 seconds after you stop using it for it to come back off of cooldown again. So the placement of the ult has to be pretty good. We actually do have a, looks like we have another, what is this, a 3-man dive? Actually, 4-man. No, it's a 5-man. Karthus is coming down here too. Wow, 5-man in bottom lane. Looks like they're going to use this opportunity to go and do Dragon. So that's not the worst call. Red team needs to react by punishing them in some way for putting so many champs down here in bot. Yeah, I don't know if they can fight this. This is all 5 members of the enemy team, and Sona is dead. I don't think that they can fight for this, so no. Blue team's going to take the Dragon. That's a very aggressive Dragon call to pull all 5 champs down. Red team probably would have been better off looking to push mid while they were doing that. But they may not have known that all 5 were there at Dragon. Anyway, there is a fight over this blue buff coming in here right now. It looks like the enemy team's going to take that. Yes, Rengar is going to smite it, so that's a nice play by them. Again, you don't want Anivia getting blue, and then Lee Sin is absolutely going to get blown up by the entire enemy team. So just needs to get out of there. Again, like I said, instead of trying to challenge the blue team, a red team would have been better off just trying to take a map objective somewhere else. You know, for instance, Malphite could have stayed top, and he could have punished them by pushing to this second tower. However, right here, Rengar going to come in, and let's see, there is the Anivia ult. Oh, a great wall right there. Rengar is going to stealth and use his stealth to get out of there. But again, notice how the wall really does a great job. The placement was just off. There was enough space for Rengar to slip by over here. A little bit better placement, and he might not have been able to get out of there. But still, he was chunked pretty hard in that last little exchange right there. Meanwhile, blue team also takes down the bottom lane tower. So we've got ourselves quite a game going here. I know there's been some call by people in the comments to say, why can't you get closer games? Well, you don't always get, it's sometimes tough to find games that are close, but this one actually is very close indeed. Only have a 500 gold difference here after 22 minutes of play, so it's quite a good game. Meanwhile, Karthus, though, in some trouble. Malphite going to come in there using his unstoppable force. Anivia not quite able to follow up on this, though. Again, Tashur Astur, what have I said about Anivia a million times? Runs out of mana very, very quickly. Is running low right here, but looks like he wants the kill. There's the wall. Oh, the Flash Frost hits. The Frostbite coming in to finish it off, and then the flash out over the wall. Here comes the Karthus ult. Is the Karthus ult going to finish it off? No, 32 HP. Let's go ahead and watch that again over here so we can see, and I'll go ahead and slow it down for you. So here we go. There's the wall. Note how it interrupts Karthus' pathfinding. There's the Flash Frost. The Frostbite gets the kill, and then jumps over the wall to dodge the stun from Jax and dodge the tower shots. That's beautifully well played there by Tashur Astur, and then makes it out on 32 HP. Why does he survive? Well, because he picked up this Chalice with the extra MR. Anyway, fight continuing over here right now. Staying in the back, needs to play defensively. Does have the egg form up right now. Can see that the egg passive is still up, but nonetheless still need to play defensively. And looks like Tashur is going to disengage from that fight. Or no, the fight is continuing over here. Sona ult, unfortunately, not really hitting anyone. But Jax is taking a lot of damage. He is exhausted right there. Malphite's going to finish that off. And are we going to see any more kills here? No, it looks like that is the end of this particular fight. Or maybe not. Malphite really wants this Oracle, but he's going to be jumped on by 3 members of the enemy team. Dive in a little too deep here. Meanwhile, red team's going to use this time that Malphite's bought to take down middle tower. So Malphite, a little too deep. Did want that Oracle, wasn't quite able to get it, but the rest of his team's able to grab mid while that's going on. By the way, note the random Q again to continue stacking up that tier. Alright, so now we've got the AP coming in. Looks like the next build is going to be Death Cap here. So after going for the utility first with the, after going for the what is it, the Chalice initially to get that MR and the ability to stack up that mono with the tier. Now is going towards ability power. Ezreal looks like he's got this. Now the ult didn't really appear on my screen, but whatever. It did go through and hit Trist. So straight 1v1. Looks like Ezreal was able to win that one without too much trouble. Oh, by the way, her wall does reveal brush, so you can use Crystallize to check brush, as we saw right there. So this is the Anivia split push. Anivia not a great split pusher. I mean, she can push pretty well, but she's not great at 1v1, so you don't really want her out there that much. She's better at sort of stopping other teams from pushing than pushing herself, because again, it's not that she can't take down minion waves, it's just that she's bad at taking down towers. And she's also not particularly great at 1v1. So going to get back here, join the rest of the team. Anivia is not really someone you'd split out from the rest of the team and look to take down towers. So we might have another fight here. Let's see what goes on in this particular engage. Again, a nice wall. Oh, Karthus then getting caught into the Malphite ultimate. And note how Anivia completely sets up that kill. The wall, the stun with the Flash Frost into Malphite ult. Really nicely played again. Just a good example of how you can use that wall to mess with the enemy team's pathfinding and set up kills for your team. So Karthus goes down right there. I mean, Anivia didn't get that kill. Malphite following up beautifully with his ultimate right here. Oh, Jax going in. Looks like he wants... And then once again, the wall onto Jax. He's going to get hit by another Frostbite. But he is Jax, so he's going to be able to leap strike over it. But again, once again, that wall, once you start getting more points in it, the wall increases in size. Now it's up to 700 units. I believe it's 400 units with 1 point, and then it goes 500, 600, 700, 800. An 800 unit with wall is quite large. So anyway, right now, looks like there's not going to be any towers taken down. We're going for a red steal here on that lizard buff, and Lee Sin is going to take it. Can Lee Sin get out of here? It looks like he's going to be okay, and it looks like red team's going to be able to make it out of there with that steal intact. Added a blasting one, so it does look like the next item is going to be Death Cap, and now Anivia starting to get a little bit more damage on these skills. Let's see, plus 136. That ratio is not terribly great. Plus 146. Yeah, her ratios are not outstanding. So it's one reason why people generally don't build quite as much straight AP on her. Anyway, looks like down here, Jax is going for this kill. One to Trist. Trist is going to rocket jump into the brush. Flash from Jax. Another flash from Trist. Flash for flash. Jax does not get the stun on his counter-strike, so Trist is going to be okay. He's going to make it out of there. And I wonder if we have a dragon popping soon. We may not. I don't remember quite how long it's been. I think it's still another minute or so before that timer comes up. But we may still see more action right there. Karthus Wall of Pain going to get the initial fight right there. Trist is trying to disengage. Looks like it's going to be okay. So it looks like that's going to break off. Are we going to see more action here? Lee Sin does still have that red buff. And oh, Soraka coming forward. I was just placing a ward, but going to get in trouble. Oh, what an outstanding Malphite ult right there into Anivia wall, blocking them off. A nice Sona ult coming out as well. Here comes the Karthus ult, though. Let's see how many that takes down. Going to take down 2 members of the enemy team, of the red team here. And then more damage onto Trist. Wow, so let's go back and look at that fight again. I'm going to go back twice so we can see this. Again, this is entirely set up by the use of the Malphite ultimate and the Anivia wall in combination together. Really makes this play happen. So let's watch this right here. Again, Soraka getting leaped on by Lee Sin. Right here, Malphite sees they're all grouped together. Bam! Malphite ult, and look at the Anivia wall. Completely blocks them away. Everybody standing in Anivia's Glacial Storm completely sets up this fight. And Sona gets off a pretty good ult as well. Actually, wow, looks like it missed Rengar. That's kind of strange. And then from here, the fight is basically academic. Karthus ult takes down Tristana. Ezreal comes into the fight, but it is a 3-on-1. Anivia dealing a lot of damage. Malphite too tanky. Sona heals are going to be enough to keep Anivia alive. And besides, that egg passive is still up anyway. So that's just a great of the combination of Malphite's ultimate and Anivia's wall being used together in conjunction. Again, when you're against Anivia, you don't really want to fight in narrow passageways, because that's exactly what can happen. You can get walled off, and that turns into a 5-for-2 win for the red team right there. Anyways, this is going to be a dragon. Malphite and Sona going to take this dragon. Going to take it very, very slowly, because neither one of them has much damage. I bet that Sunfire Cape is doing half the damage to the dragon right there. But they are going to take that down. Anivia going to go back to buy. And the minions are going to get in some damage on this tower. So with that dragon going down, the focus is going to shift to Baron. Blue team's going to have to push out these lanes and get ready for a presumptive Baron fight. We'll see if somebody picks up an Oracle. Either Malphite or Sona really should pick one up in order to get ready for this Baron. We'll see if someone does. between the two of them. Anyway, Anivia does have Death Cap now, so that will increase the damage significantly. And there we go. See, Sona picks up the Oracle's Elixir. Again, I told you these were pretty good players. Everyone who's in this game seems to have a pretty good idea of what they're doing, as you'd expect for people who are close to 1800 in terms of ELO rating. Alright, so we've got a reset on this match. It's a close match that Red Team did decisively win that last fight. That's gotten them out to about a 3,500 gold lead. A modest lead, not a huge lead. Again, the big thing is going to be who can end up taking this Baron. Lee Sin in all kinds of trouble. Going to get stunned by Jax. He needs a jump. There he is. He's going to get that to Malphite. The stun, though, coming out on the Karthus. Another Malphite ult going in. And right now, Rengar's gotten stuck behind the enemy team. He's going to get blown up initially. Jax also in a bad spot. Sona ult goes down. Once again, the walling off Soraka. A nice power chord slow from Sona right there. And everybody's just trying to run away, but Karthus will go down, caught by the Flash Frost into Frostbite combination. And Malphite's still diving deeper and deeper into this one. Trist is going to fall. Wow, that was a little too deep there, because Ezreal scores a double kill off of his Essence Flux. But still a one fight for the red team. They just went a little bit too far. Oh, the wall again, blocking off Ezreal. It's a good thing he is Ezreal right there. Oh, and Anivia going for the kill. Gets that one with the Flash Frost and the Frostbite again. Dies in the process, but hey, I'm Anivia, it's okay. I'm going to be reborn in 6 seconds. And oh, right there, the flash for the kill on Soraka too. Wow, I want to see that one again. So there we go. There is the kill onto Ezreal. Soraka trying to hit Anivia with those bananas, trying to do the damage right there, trying to stop this off. Soraka thinks that she's safe, but no, flash, Glacial Storm, and the Frostbite. And that's going to finish that one off. So, wow, another really nice fight for a red team right there. They're able to get middle tower. They're able to kill... they killed all 5 members of the blue team there. Not all at the same time, but they did get all of them there. So that was, over the course of that whole fight, that was another 5-for-2 exchange. And now they're out to a fairly significant lead, almost 6,000 gold. So, again, can start to look to force those map objectives, can really look to put pressure on Baron right now. They still have an Oracle. I don't think anyone on the blue team does. Soraka did have an Oracle earlier, I saw, but she did die and did lose that one. So again, the pressure can start to go onto Baron right now, or they can just continue to look pushing into the base. Now, we did see in terms of itemizing on Anivia, that Giant's Belt did get turned into a Warmogs. That's an unorthodox purchase. Again, it's not usual, but I have seen this before. I've seen it on Froggen at different times before, so it's a little weird, but I have seen people do it. Oh, right there, the wall. Going to mess up Karthus. Tristana Buster Shot actually goes through the wall, but Karthus is still not making it out. Right now, though, oh wow, a great initiation from Malphite. Goes in, uses his ult once again. Is anyone else going to get caught out here? Not sure. Right now, red team can go back and force Baron if they want, or they can look to keep pushing this, but they need to be aggressive while they have the 5v4 advantage, and they're also already ahead. Another wall. Jax is going to have to leap out, but that's going to mean that that middle tower is going to go down. And that red team has no choice right there. Jax looking to initiate, but Sona is going to counter with that ultimate immediately. And wow, who is in the middle of the team? Rengar. I don't know what he's doing in there. He's not going to survive long no matter how tanky he is. He will fall right there and hand another kill over to the red team right here. The Flash Frost is going to catch out Ezreal. He's going to Arcane Shift away. Again, Anivia's egg is not up right now. Jax will fall immediately to the combined damage of red team, and they are going to grab that inhib. And they know that they need to get out of here right now because they're not going to be able to get in any more damage on the base. Nexus turret's too difficult to break, and Karthus has revived. So right now, it's the time to back out, look to clear these neutral buffs, grab the enemy team's red, grab their blue, although it's not up right now, and then get back to defend Baron. So Anivia over here, yeah, got the Warmogs. Again, it's kind of an unusual item, but it does allow you to survive a little bit better in fights. I wouldn't build it, but I have seen other people build it before, so I guess it's not totally crazy. And looks like there was some chatter between these teams in the team chat that we don't see here in spectator mode, so I don't know what was going on. I'm not sure why Tashur Astur is bad-mouthing Lee Sin. Whatever was going on, it's something that we weren't able to see. One thing that I like about spectator mode is that you don't see the team chat. Sometimes it's useful to be able to see the team chat, but oftentimes it's nice that you don't see it because people argue a lot in solo queue. And whatever was going on, somebody was unhappy there. Alright, well, in any case, right now, red team has a pretty big lead. They're out to an 8,000 gold lead. They do have the middle inhibitor turret down in blue team's base. And yeah, going to use the wall to check for vision. Nobody's there. And again, it looks like they're going to force a fight around Baron, or at least try to bait the enemy team into coming out. Again, a place like right here would be a great place to fight because of Anivia's wall and because of Malphite's ultimate. Those two things together make it very advantageous for them to fight in closed spaces. And this Baron's going down pretty quickly. Are they going to be able to get this one down? Ezreal ult coming through. Jack's now trying to get in here. Malphite ult is going to hit 2 people. Red team is going to take it. Jack's trying to get in there to steal it, but he will fall initially. There is a fight going over here. Anivia is going to die off to the right side of the screen. But while that was going on, the rest of the team took Baron. Karthus will go down. Ezreal should be the next one. I'm not sure why they're going after Soraka instead of chasing after Ezreal. Bit of an odd choice right there, but the chase is going to go into Soraka. That's a poor Soraka losing another Oracle. So that's going to be a 4 for 2 and a Baron taken in that fight right there. Tashur saying egg up now. Looks like it didn't come up quite in time. And this is a good call here as well for Red Team. Note that they're going to choose to go for the top tower here instead of looking to push into the base. If they push down mid, there's just not really anything there for them to get. I mean, they already have the mid tower and the inhibitor. It's better for them to grab this tower here. They've got a little bit more time. I don't know if they can get this next tower or not, but they can at least shove up the minion wave and see if they can make progress. They might be able to. Ezreal's over here in mid defending that. So yes, looks like they are in fact going to have time to take this tower as well. I don't think they can get the inhib, but they should be able to get this tower. And yes, now they need to get out of there. Lee Sin is going to use his flash. Yes, he does have flash. Okay. A lot of the time Lee Sins take exhaust when they jungle, but he has flash. And that's going to be a disengage for them, and they are going to make it out of there. So, 3 members of the team have Baron? Yes, 3 members of the team have Baron. Anivia has respawned, Tristana has respawned, and that was an excellent push to get 2 towers in top lane, despite not having the AD carry there. And at this point in time, with Baron, they just need to try to follow in behind the super minions. Can go for this inhib, it's exposed, group as 5, look to take that, and then look to push into the base from that top lane and follow the super minions into the Nexus turrets. Or, oh, actually, no, we might have a fight right here at Dragon. I don't know why the red team, or the blue team's coming out. Sona ult into Malphite ult, really nice. Anivia's not even here. You can see how poorly this is going for the blue team. I don't know why they came out of their base to fight a team that had Baron and was 10,000 gold ahead. That's a very poor decision. They needed to just defend their base. Oh, the wall catching out Karthus once more. He will fall. He will go down. And now that there's only 2 people alive, there's very little chance for blue team to defend their base with a 5-on-2 situation, and the enemy team having Baron, and also being 10,000 gold ahead over, well, 13,000 now. So this looks like it's going to be the end of the game. We'll see what happens, but oh wow, Ezreal getting walled off again. He's actually is going to get hit by a Glacial Storm. And another Frostbite there. Even though it didn't really look like he did still get caught by that at the end there. Jack's doing his best, trying to go in, trying to save this one. But I don't think it's going to be enough. And that's going to be the end of this one. So a nicely played game by the red team. And a very nicely played game from Tashur Astur here on Anivia. I'm not sure I quite get the Hextech Revolver as last item. But I mean, it worked out. 500 AP, 3,000 health, and an 11-9 stat line in terms of the final score. Yes, we still are hearing Glacial Storm in the background, whatever. Alright, anyway, once again, hope that you guys enjoyed this. I do take a look at viewer games sometimes. I enjoy seeing a nicely played viewer game like this one, so thanks to Tashur Astur for sending this one along. Again, if anyone's going to be at PAX Prime and you have the chance to pick up a PAX Sona code, feel free to let me know. I'll be happy to put any of your games on the YouTube channel or have you queue up with us in some of the Tuesday night games if you're able to get something like that for me. But no big deal if you can't. It's not that big a deal. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.